presentation was about delivering a seamless customer experience. So it looked at looking at all aspects of operations at the airport, airfield operations, landside operations, terminal operations, and how integrating all of this is necessary and is important to make sure we meet the needs of our passengers.
And how do you do that well? What were you saying was the way to achieve that?
Well, it was a combination of things that we looked at. We looked at infrastructure projects that we must embark on in order to meet that. For example, our new international arrival facilities that we are building. We looked at our North Satellite facility that's under construction, but those are things that are coming in the future. So one of the things I spoke about were the things that we're doing right now. For example, our retail and dining program that we have, making sure we have a combination of international and regional and local options for our passengers. We looked at our music program, very, very important to us as well at the airport, where we expose all of our visitors to our local musicians, right? We also looked at not only the performing arts, but also the visual arts. We have a very, really nice arts program at the airport. We also look at the basics of customer service. There's good old being friendly, good old being courteous rather. We also looked at changing processes. For example, in our international arrivals process, that facility, the new facility, is not going to be constructed until 2019. We're currently in the design construction phase right now. However, we're doing other things such as what we call Express Connect. And Express Connect is a procedure that we have if, for example, if you have a connecting flight within a certain time frame, rather than join the line with everybody else, you're given a card, an Express Connect card, and you are expedited through the entire international arrivals procedure, through passport control, through immigration, through customs. So we minimize or mitigate the possibility that you will actually miss your connection. So those are some of the things that I spoke about during the presentation.
And given those things as a combination, how does that impact on the experience? What is the difference that people feel from that, and therefore what's the benefit?
Mm-hmm. So the major impact from the cost, as I said, there are the 3 C's and the 3 S's that we're trying to achieve. So it's comfort, it's convenience, and it's cleanliness, right? And then it's a sense of place in a safe and secure environment. So that's what we're targeting. So for example, our music program, in the mornings, during peak hours, say for example during the summer, when we have these really long lines, we'll have someone playing a harp or a saxophone at the checkpoint to kind of soothe the atmosphere. We even have what we call therapy dogs, right? So a lot of people have this angst and nervousness when they're traveling. We have therapy dogs. During the holiday periods, we have an extensive holiday program where we have entertainment throughout the airport. As I said, we have a really great dining and retail program where we try to cater to the international traveler, but also we try to make sure that we have this sense of place with our local offerings as well. We have technology that we use to keep track of how we're performing on the airfield, where we can see in real time what's happening on our airfield. If there's delays, that's happening. We can see what's happening on our drives coming up. We have sensors on the drives that we can see how our drives are performing, so we know if people are being delayed. We have sensors on the runway that detects FOD, foreign object debris, as an example. We're one of the only 2 airports, I think, in the US that have that, right? So we can see our airfield is operating, because if you're in the terminal, right, and you're relatively comfortable in the terminal, but your flight is being delayed because of an airfield operation, you're still not going to be happy. I also spoke about a baggage handling system that we're putting in. We're spending over $320 million to overall and to replace an existing baggage system we have. We have a baggage system that has 6 disparate components to it, and we're replacing that with a centralized baggage handling system, because the thought is, even if we get everything right with moving our customers through the airport facility to their flight, if the bags don't make it, they're not going to be happy. So this centralized baggage handling system that we have right now will actually, you can check in at any ticket counter anywhere within the airport, and your bags will get to any airplane and any flight. anywhere throughout the entire airport. So that's one of the systems that we're putting in.
And on that last point about baggage handling, I mean, it's such a fundamental to all of our travelling, and still the process that I suppose in a way, it has to be that physical move of a case to an aircraft. There's no way that's magically going to necessarily happen.
Right.
But obviously, we're still looking at ways to try and ease that as much as we can for the passenger.
Yeah, one of the things I was part of a panel yesterday as well, and we were talking about what do we foresee in 2050. And I think one of the things I spoke about in terms of baggage handling, I think you're going to see less and less people involved in the baggage handling process. I think it's going to be more automated. You're probably going to have robotics or robotics arm moving those bags, and you'll have less and less human being that's a part of that process. I think it's going to get a whole lot more efficient, and I think the airlines are actually going to embrace this because they'll be able to reduce their cost and make their process or their operations a whole lot more efficient. So, I mean, there are certain things that you can do with technology, but you still have to physically move bags, onto an airplane, no matter what. So we might not be using more human beings to do it. We might be using more robotics to do it, but you still have to physically move bags onto an airplane and off an airplane.
Lance, you're saying about being in a discussion yesterday and obviously making your presentation here as well. What about this event? What do you think of this conference and what it gives you?
What it gives me is solutions, right? And I wish we had more time to actually go through the exhibit hall. The exhibit hall is huge. I haven't had to kind of balance the time between going to the sessions and going to the exhibit hall. So one recommendation I would have is more time to go through the exhibit hall, because so far pretty much every exhibitor that I've spoken to have some solution that I could potentially use. And I think that's one of the great benefits of coming here, is that you actually find solutions here.